Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird of the Blackbird Grimoire. Welcome to the daily forecast for Thursday, October 10th, 2024. It is the 19th of Libra and the day of the swamp creature. In our astrology, the sun is in Libra, cardinal air, representing justice. The moon is first quarter Capricorn, cardinal earth, representing tradition. At 1:55 p.m. Central Time, the second quarter will begin. Mercury is in Libra, cardinal air, representing the visionary. Venus is in Scorpio, fixed water, representing passion. Mars is in Cancer, cardinal water, representing seeking security. Jupiter is retrograding in Gemini, mutable air, which is to broaden perspective. Saturn is retrograding in Pisces, mutable water, which is to redefine dreams. Uranus is retrograding in Taurus, fixed earth, representing rebellion. Neptune is retrograding in Pisces, mutable water, which is spiritual awakenings. And Pluto is retrograding in Capricorn, cardinal earth, representing transformations. Excuse me one moment. For our retrograde reminders, for Jupiter, it's reconnect with your true path. For Saturn, reclaim your authority. For Uranus, reconsider how you rebel. For Neptune, reclaim your magic. For Pluto, reclaim your ability to regenerate. And for Chiron, restore the heroic spirit. So we're moving into the waxing gibbous moon phase, which means it is time to enact our goals. For the Capricorn moon, the do's are strategize, pursue goals, rebrand yourself. The don'ts are delicate relationships, conflict with authority, and being coldly strategic. I don't know if you heard that rally, but apparently the cats have a difference of opinion. Don't mind them. Uh, for the day of Jupiter, achieving your goals may require taking in perspectives beyond your own and leaning upon the practical experience of other people. You will not appear to less advantage by being willing to absorb wisdom and learn from both the successes and failures of others. So, if you are getting advice today, even unsolicited, even if that ordinarily gets on your nerves, which I get, I don't care for it either. But today is the day to actually take that on board. You don't know how helpful it might ultimately be. One moment. Calliope, stop bothering the baby. Sorry about that. Calliope was intimidating one of the little kittens, Alfie. That's the ginger one. And, well, I wasn't in favor of that. So she got the water bottle and oh, come here, Al. Or not. Okay, fine. No problem. With our tarot card for the day, we have the Six of Ghosts. Six represents being in the middle of something. Ghost, it represents the emotional feminine, receptive energy, water element, and emotion. And the keywords for the cards are discovery about the past, meeting childhood acquaintances, and inheritance. So this is all about looking backwards, but not looking backwards in a way that is meant to distract or in a way that is meant for to blind you to the present and the need to attend to the future. This is more so of taking stock of what is and how it has shaped everything and what's come of everything and how things have evolved from that. And being thankful for the good things that have come from it, particularly the good people. There is nostalgia in the best possible sense enacted with this card. So if you do find yourself looking backwards a little bit, don't worry about it too much. There might be something useful in the past for you to discover, something that'll give you some of those warm fuzzies. We live in such an unsettling times that I think sometimes we do just need a moment where, okay, I'm blocking out the crazy of the world and I'm going to focus on something that genuinely just makes me feel happy, something that makes me feel secure, something that's good that I want to carry on into the future. Today's triad reads three things which do not go well if hurried: war, feasting, and argument. I'm sorry. I'm doing my best, gang. I really am. Rushing into conflict, whether it's an interpersonal conflict or something as large as war, or entering these conflicts without strategy, that really does increase the risk of failure, increases the risk of things going really, really badly for you. There is wisdom in doing things in a measured fashion. Again, whether the conflict is on a very small scale or on a large scale. And then eating too fast leads to eating too much and getting a bellyache for your troubles and all of the terrible things that come from that. So, savoring your food. And this would include savoring anything that it is that we consume, not just, our literal food or drink, although, of course, taking that in at a reasonable pace is usually healthier for us, but also thinking about how much information and what kind of information that we are taking in, uh, and whether or not we're doing that in a measured pace, whether or not we're doing it in a way that is enabling us to actually digest the information and be able to discern what of the information is legitimate and what may not be so. What's fact, what's opinion, all that sort of thing. And honestly, what kind of information is actually good for us? Because there is a great need to keep informed about current events, but I think there's difference between people who are keeping you informed by presenting you with facts, and even better, presenting you with possible remedies for situations, things that are practical within your power to do. And then the doomsayers who are like, everything's doomed and aren't I so clever for articulating and doing all this research to persuade you that there's no escaping the doom. One side is going to actually build you up and enable you to make good decisions about your future, and the other is going to pull you down into a pit of despair. So, if we are taking information at a measured pace, we're more likely to be able to tell the difference between the two on a more conscious and thoughtful level, and also to decide, what is actually deserving our consumption and what, is something that maybe we need to pass on. And then arguments. Hurrying into an argument is foolish and likely to make disagreements worse, particularly if you're not even necessarily understanding the nature of the other person's complaint, or if the person doing the complaining is not necessarily taking on board, whether or not there was some tension behind the person that they're upset with, whether or not the person was aware that something was a problem. Are they being perhaps too hypersensitive? There's a lot of things that can happen if you just go from 0 to 60 when it comes to conflicts or doing anything that really needs to be slowed down a bit. And then for today's magical correspondences, they are on the theme of clairvoyance. The color is purple, the plant is the lilac, the animal is the raven, and the crystal is fluorite. This is the perfect time of year to work on heightening your senses. Veil is thin, energy is really hyperactive. I mean, I can feel it's even affecting my sleep patterns, to tell you the truth, just because everything is getting really, really hyped up and it's really easy to pick up on all of that. So, working on heightening your senses, and also I would suggest, in connection with that, doing more regular cleansings of your own energy would probably be extraordinarily helpful to you today. And really, this year, this time of year in general, just because if you never get out the gunk and everything just keeps piling on, it can be much more harder, more difficult rather, to process the impressions that you're getting from your psychic senses. So that's just something to bear in mind. Then for today's practices, a bit of cooking magic. What are the lessons of swamp creatures? How are you not like Jupiter? What are the limitations of Jupiterian wisdom? And Thursdays are practical days, so tidy a troublesome spot in your home. You will feel better. Now, I have a recipe for you, and I do believe that this is something that I posted under the community tab on my YouTube channel. So definitely check that out if you're interested. It's a salmon pumpkin bread. It gives you all the ingredients, and then I actually found the proper instructions for it. So if you do try it out, definitely let me know. Of course, not all recipes are created equally. I haven't had the opportunity to test this one out myself, just because I've been a little bit under the weather. It's all I can do to keep up with what the things that I have to do, let alone doing any of the fun stuff right now. Hopefully, that'll change very quickly. So if you do try this out, let me know what was the results like. Did you like it? Did you not? Did you play around with the recipe? Just tell me all about it. And then for today's journal prompt, all hauntings can be very startling, all of them. So write about how you can tell the difference between the harmless hauntings and the harmful hauntings, because it is important to distinguish between the two. And not everyone really stops to think that perhaps uh, just because there's activity, that it's not necessarily a bad thing or an indication that anything is wrong, or that there's any kind of maliciousness involved. So, as pagans, and particularly if you are a witch watching this, it's really up to us to do better and to set a higher standard. So that is what I have for you all today. Have a very magical and delightfully spooky day. I am going to see if I can't whack out the rest of the videos for this week. Thank you again for putting up with my voice and my coughing and everything else. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.